Council is now in session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear God, we give thanks for the many blessings we enjoy. As we approach this season of Thanksgiving, help us to remember with thanks those who protect us, teach us, and serve us. Open our hearts to those in need of food, clothing, and shelter. We ask for your continued blessings and guidance. In your name we pray. Amen.
I know you didn't have to whistle after the prayer, whoever was whistling. But there's an ordinance that says that all electronic devices are supposed to be turned off completely and not in use here in the council chambers. That was a disruption while we're praying that somebody's cell phone goes off. So I would tell the police officer to enforce the ordinance that we have that all electronic devices are supposed to be turned off as per ordinance. And if anybody has theirs on, to please escort them out of the council chambers. You're out of order. You're out of order. I'm asking the policemen to enforce the ordinance that all electronic devices are to be turned off. And if not, escort them out of here. As per ordinance. Order. Order.
You are out of order. Lord, go with roll call.
Markovich. Here. Spitali. Here. Vanez.
Here.
Kalwinski.
Here.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Four more here.
Emerson.
Here.
Henosa.
Here.
Opinker.
Here. Moving on to reading of minutes.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Councilman Markovich.
As per ordinance 30.07, use of cell phones, pagers, other electronic devices prohibited in council chambers. No person present in the council chambers while the Common Council is conducting a meeting shall use any cell phone, pager, or other electronic device at any time during the meeting. All such devices shall be turned off or set not to make any audible sound. Shut them off. And I'm asking the policeman to enforce it. And anybody that's got a cell phone, you're being warned.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
can you refer a letter to the Hammond Police Chief so that these enforcements are emphasized in our chambers in the future? Thank you.
Moving on to reading of minutes.
Mr. President,
Councilman Spitali.
move to accept the minutes from October 26, 2015.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Kowinski to accept the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes pass. Moving on to approval of claims.
No, that's right. Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Markovich.
move for approval of claims October 21st through November 4th for council meeting November 9th, beginning with claims dated 10/21/15 and ending with claims dated 11/4/15. Claim number 5870 through claim number 6099 inclusive for $1,352,947.74. I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Higgs. Acceptance of the claims. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I have some amendments. Claim number 6100, University of Southern Indiana, $934.89 for college bound for Caleb Boykin. Claim number 6101, $240, United States Postal Service, 500 stamps for military recruits. Claim number 6102, New Zion Temple Church, $100, monetary donation for holiday dinner to benefit 150 to 200 people to be held on Sunday, December 20th. I so move.
There's a motion by Councilman Markovich, second by, who seconded that? Councilman Spitali on the amended claims. Is there any discussion on the amended claims? Clerk Golick, roll call vote on the amended claims.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Henosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, amended claims pass 8-0, one absent. Now claims as written. Clerk Golick, roll call vote.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Henosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, claims pass 8-0, one absent. Moving on to the public hearing. which
Item
now-
A.
Clerk Golick.
Ordinance 15-43 sponsored by Councilwoman Vines. An ordinance appropriating funds from a local pretrial diversion and deferral fund within the Hammond City Court 2015 budget to fund part-time salaries. Item B, ordinance 15-47 sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance appropriating the proceeds of the annual action plan and dealing with other matters pertaining to the expenditure of planned proceeds for program year 2016. Item C, ordinance 15-48, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance to appropriate funds within the Hammond Police Department Grant Fund. Item D, sponsor Councilman Spitali, ordinance 15-51. An ordinance to appropriate new funds to the operating balance for the Hammond Sanitary District's Sewer Maintenance Fund.
Public hearing is now open on any of these four topics.
Alvin Cheeks, 832 Merrill Street, Hammond, Indiana. I've been living in the 3rd District probably 45, 50 years. Economic development has occurred at Harrison Park at a high rate. My son, he plays in King Park. My son is only 11. He can't cross over Calumet Avenue and go over to Harrison Park. So I was wondering how much of this park board funds are going to be. I wonder how many of these park board funds are going to be used to revitalize Dr. King Park, being that the CDB education funds are supposed to be used in disadvantaged areas. King Park is a disadvantaged park. So I was wondering how many of those dollars are going to be used for that. That would be my question. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak under the public hearing?
Yeah, Scott Rakos, 35, 3400 70th Place. I'd like to speak on public hearing C. This is the grant that takes care of jaywalking. I highly encourage to use as much of the funds as necessary for the Morton High School area. It got better when the last time you used it, and then since school got back in, parents routinely stop their cars on Grand Avenue, let their kids out in the middle of the street so they can go across 3 lanes of traffic. And I'm there all the time, and I highly encourage to use that money in the Morton High School area. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'm going to do item number C now. Under item number C, in regards to $83,000 to the police department, I vehemently disagree with that because it's creating a problem in the African American community in regards to African American and Hispanic students being at a high number arrested in regards to that grant. So I think the council should definitely monitor the Hammond Police Department in regards to the treatment and the overzealousness of all of the tickets that's been wrote to Hispanic and African American kids.
Anyone else like to speak under the public hearing? Seeing none, hearing none, public hearing is now closed. Oh, okay, one more.
Number A, Mr. Chairman. I think that's a great idea, Mr. Chairman. And then under D, I'll do that one too. I agree with that one too, sir.
Anyone else like to speak under the public hearing? Hearing none, seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Moving on to communications.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
see the correspondence from Fountain of Living Water, International House of God, Dr. Mary B. Johnson, pastor, 1463 Sherman Street, which happens to be in the 2nd District. Equipment, supplies, skilled labor, and requests at 1463 Sherman Street. Dear Councilman Higgs, since 1989, our church located at 1463 Sherman Street in Hammond, Indiana, has been a example of community services, assistance with our government finances. We have faithfully fed the hungry, clothed those in need, and provide warmth, shelter during the times of snow and storm. My husband, Pastor Aaron Johnson, Prayer House of God Deliverance Center, served as pastor for 17 years until he took sick to continue on. I've been faithfully pastoring the same location for 8 years and counting. We recently passed out one most continue the work, thus I'm submitting this request for equipment, supplies, and skilled labor. This is a great need for our church doors, screen doors, electrical work, drywall, outdoor lighting, flooring, carpet tile, kitchen sinks, plumbing, ceiling tile, woodwork, and outdoor light signage. You may contact me, Pastor Mary P. Johnson, at my home, RCL. Thank you very much for your consideration. May God continue to bless the 3rd District and the entire Hammond, Indiana Council to continue to be the voice for the people of this great city. Sincerely, Dr. Mary P. Johnson, Pastor.
Any other communications?
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
the NICID, Northern Indiana Community Transportation District, it says Councilman Higgs, 3rd District, City of Hammond, 5925 Calumet Avenue, Hammond, Indiana, 46320. West Lake Corridor Project Public Workshop. The workshops are going to be held Monday, November 9th, 2015, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Paulsman Elementary School, 1121 Harrison Avenue, Dyer, Indiana. Then Tuesday, November 10th, 2015, from 6 to 8 at Washington Irving Elementary School, 4727 Payne Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Then on Thursday, November 12th, from 6 to 8 at Ed's Elementary School, 8000 Jackson Avenue, Munster, Indiana, 46320. We would appreciate hearing if you have planning to attend the public official agenda meeting in Munster on November 9th, which was today. Please call Lisa Johnson at 219-926-5744, extension 308, or drop us by confirming no through the project website. We look forward to seeing you on the 9th. For more information on this project, you can visit us, the project website, www.nictdwestlake.com. Sincerely, John E. Pearson, Project Matters.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Markovich.
Councilman Kowinski and myself, they had a meeting on this at Munster Town Hall between 2 and 4 o'clock. That information I placed on your desk is a synopsis of what was going on. Stan Dostotny was there along with Mark Gordish and Brian Poland. And, they had renditions done of what they want to do in Hammond as far as how many train stations, if a maintenance station is going to be put up, if they're going to raise the tracks downtown Hammond and go over to Holman Avenue and so forth. But anybody that's concerned, and it is going to concern the city of Hammond, because we're going to be given $900,000 a year for the next 30 years, $27 million. So now's your chance to go there at the Irving School tomorrow, Chicago Avenue and Hoffman and Pine, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and hear what they got to give, because it's going to be your money, and that's what they're talking about. And we can all say it's just going to benefit people in Munster that live in St. John's, so they can save 10 minutes off of their trip to downtown Chicago. But the way they're talking about doing that South Shore train, they're going to use that as a shuttle, about 3 cars, and go from Main Street and Dyer, and then drop them off in North Hammond, and then get back on the train going west towards Chicago. So it's your money, it's your chance tomorrow, so 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at Irving School. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs?
I just got the correspondence, so I was unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend today, but I do plan to attend tomorrow to hear what they have to say. Very extensive project, interested in learning how it's gonna help Hammond.
Any other communications? Communications is now closed. Moving on to committee reports.
Mr. President,
Councilman Hinojosa.
Council as a whole be bringing out 1547, 48, 49A, 50, and 51.
Any other committee reports?
Mr. President.
Councilwoman Vines.
Yes, at this time, I would like to read a list of the upcoming community and crime watch groups. On Monday, November 16th, Columbia Crime Watch will meet at 6 p.m. at Columbia School. The East Hammond Pullman Crime Watch will meet Tuesday, November 17th at the Ophelia Steen Center at 6:30 p.m. And on Thursday, November 12th, the Whiting-Robertsdale Crime Watch will meet at 6:30 p.m. at Calumet College. And that is how change happens. One person, one gesture, one moment at a time.
Any other committee reports?
Mr. President,
Councilman Hinojosa.
the ones I gave, I believe we need to not come out with 1550. I believe that's not going to come out until next meeting. So it'll just be 47, 48, 49A, and 51.
No, actually, 1550 is a notice of intent will come out under new unfinished business.
Correct.
Okay, any other committee reports? Moving on to ordinance, third and final passage.
Ordinance 15-47, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance appropriating the proceeds of the annual action plan and dealing with other matters pertaining to the expenditure of planned proceeds for program year 2016.
President,
Councilman Spitali.
final passage of 1547.
Second.
The motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Higgs on final passage of 1547. Is there any discussion?
President,
Councilman Spitali.
the city of Hammond is the recipient of the CDBG, ESG, and the home funds which are needed to be appropriated. Also being subject to approval of the State Board of Tax Commissioners.
Any other discussion? Clerk, go with roll call vote on 1547.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Elwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Hinosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, 1547 passes, 8-0, one absent.
Ordinance 15-48, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance to appropriate funds within the Hammond Police Department Grant Fund.
President,
Councilman Spitali.
move for final passage of 1548.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Spitali for final passage of 1548, second by Councilman Kowinski. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs?
this is an ordinance in reference to appropriations for the Hammond Police Department grant fund. One is identified as an impaired driving grant, revenue $75,000, impaired driving grant operating fund $75,000, pedestrian safety revenue fund $8,000, pedestrian safety operating fund $8,000.
Any other discussion? Clerk, go with roll call vote on 1548.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Hinosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, ordinance 1548 passes, 8-0, one absent.
Ordinance 1549A, sponsored by Councilman Opinker. An ordinance authorizing the city controller to transfer from one line item to another.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs?
I move for final passage of 15-49A. I so move.
Motion by Councilman Higgs, second by Councilman Spitali for final passage of 1549A. Is there any discussion? Any discussion on 1549A? Clerk Golick, roll call vote.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Ordinance 1549A passes 8-0, one absent.
Ordinance 15-51, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance to appropriate new funds to the operating balance for the Hammond Sanitary District's Sewer Maintenance Fund.
President,
Councilman Spitali?
move for final passage of 1551.
Motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Kowinski for final passage of 1551. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Spitali?
this ordinance is about is they're trying to do an additional appropriation for their sewer maintenance fund.
Any other discussion on 1551? Clerk Golick, roll call vote on 1551.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Ordinance 1551 passes 8-0, one absent.
President Opinker, that concludes the ordinances for final passage and adoption.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to introduction of ordinances.
Item A, ordinance 15-52, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance appropriating the proceeds of a Section 108 guarantee loan and dealing with other matters pertaining to the expenditure of loan proceeds for program year 2015.
President,
Councilman Spitali.
do first and second reading for the council as a whole with a public hearing set for December 17th.
What was that, December what?
17th,
We don't have a meeting on
14th.
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 Second.
The motion by Councilman Spitali for first and second reading on 1552 with a public hearing set for December 14th, second by Councilwoman Vines. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? First and second granted.
President Opinker, that concludes the introduction of ordinances.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to resolutions.
Item A, resolutions 15R21, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Hammond authorizing the filing of Section 108 loan guarantee application and designating signatories for payment voucher on letters of credit for a Section 108 guarantee loan project.
President,
Councilman Spitali.
passage of 15R-21.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilman Spitali for final passage of 15R21, second by Councilman Higgs. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Spitali.
Section 108 is the loan guarantee component of the community block grant. Section 108 provides communities with a source of financial economic development for large-scale physical and development projects. So moved.
Any other discussion on 15R21? Clerk Golick, roll call vote on 15R21.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Resolution 15R21 passes 8-0, one absent.
Item B, resolution 15R22, sponsored by Councilman Emerson. A resolution confirming the reappointment of Carrie Hutton as a commissioner of the Hammond Human Relations Commission of the City of Hammond, Indiana.
Mr. President,
Councilman Emerson.
I move for passage of Resolution 15R-22.
It's a motion by Councilman Emerson, second by Councilman Spitali for final passage of 15R22. Is there any discussion? Any discussion on 15R22? Clerk Golick, roll call vote, 15R22.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, 15R22 passes, 8-0, 1 absent.
President Opinker, that concludes the reading of the resolutions.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Okay, moving on to new and unfinished business.
Item A, notice of intent for 15-50. Sponsor is Councilman Emerson. The petitioner is the Hammond Housing Authority.
Mr. President,
Councilman Emerson.
I move for final passage of ordinance 15-50.
Motion by Councilman Emerson for final passage of 1550, second by Councilman Spitali. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Emerson.
this is a technical correction of the setbacks on the Flagstone Village, which is included in this ordinance on page 2, which we had discussed and needs to be done.
Any other discussion on 1550? Clerk Golick, roll call vote on ordinance 1550.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Ordinance 1550 passes, 8-0, 1 absent.
Item B, BZA Z-15-06, ordinance or reference number 15-53, the petition of David Van Camp of Vans Industrial Incorporated for variance of use from a zoning ordinance to allow for a private parking lot for vehicles or trucks related to the operation of Vans Industrial Incorporated located at 253 Condit Street within the city of Hammond and Lake County, Indiana.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kowinski.
motion for notice of intent to consider variance of use to allow for a private parking lot for vehicles and/or trucks related to the operation of Vans Industrial, Inc., located at 253 Condit Street within the city of Hammond, Lake County, Indiana, for Tuesday, November 17th, 2015.
There's a motion by Councilman Kowinski for letter, second by Councilman Spitali. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? First and second granted.
Mr. President?
Councilman Hinojosa.
Just to refresh everybody's memory, we, last meeting, we canceled the second meeting in November and the second meeting in December, but we found it necessary that we are going to need a second meeting for this month of November. Therefore, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the 5-day rule and have a regular council meeting on Tuesday, November 17th at 5 p.m.
Second.
Okay, it's a motion by Councilman Hinojosa, second by Councilman Higgs to suspend the 5-day rule and have the meeting on the 17th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 17th granted. Okay, on that intent to consider on 1553, we're going to have a roll call vote on that for the first and second with the notice of intent on the 17th. So Clerk Golick will have a roll call vote on that.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Motion carries 8-0, one absent. Any other no unfinished business?
Mr. President?
Councilwoman Vines.
Yes, I would like a letter sent to the clerk's office requesting to give 48-hour notice to all the appropriate people for every council meeting.
Second.
It's a motion by Councilwoman Vines, second by Councilman Emerson to send a letter out within 48-hour period to the news media on every council meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion granted. Any other new and unfinished business?
Mr. President?
Councilwoman Vines.
Yes, I would like to announce that Wednesday is Veterans Day. First of all, please take the time to honor those who have served so we can all enjoy the freedoms that we do. Second, with regard to that, City Hall will be closed in observance of Veterans Day on Wednesday, which means that trash pickup for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be delayed by one day. The guys will be working on Saturday, November 14th. Thank you.
Any other new and unfinished business?
Mr. President,
Councilman Emerson.
real briefly, I'd like to thank everyone that came out to the Veterans Appreciation Day Parade in Hammond, second annual. Very good turnout. The weather was great. Thank you. Just didn't want to get away tonight without thanking everyone that supported the veterans. Thanks.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
I had requested over 3 years ago for 838 Carroll Street to be demoed, and I'd like to know the status on that property. So I'd like to submit a letter to code enforcement to see what the status was. It was also placed on the hardest hit fund, which is funding for those properties in the 2nd and 3rd district that needed to be demoed, and it was on the list, but it still hasn't been demoed. I so moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Higgs, second by Councilman Hinojosa on a letter sent to code enforcement in regards to demos of several addresses.
838 Carroll.
838 Carroll. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion granted. Any other new and unfinished business? New and unfinished business is now closed. Moving on to public expression. The first speaker will be Lori Zolno.
Lori Zolno, 7142 Forest. There was much discussion in the caucus tonight about detailed agenda information being made available to the public for the purpose of public notice. Might I again suggest that we publish the agenda in a timely fashion on your website? Thank you.
Next speaker, Mr. George Stoya. Final speaker, Mr. Alvin Cheeks.
Alvin Cheeks, 832 Merrill Street. You know, I've been a photographer for more than 35 years. Electronic device is one that emits a signal. Camera emits a signal, a camera phone emits a signal. It's no different than Mr. Jake taking film and edit it for his personal use. You know, I've been coming here, and that's really unfair. If Mr. Jacobs can bring a camera in here, what's the difference of someone using their cell phone as a camera to record a meeting? You know, we have arbitrary rights. You know, the only reason why the intelligence officer, he was right, it's not his law. I have a funeral on Friday. I have no problem with going to jail. I got plenty of lawyers. The thing that we have to remember is that we arbitrarily have a right. And I'm going to bring it forward. I'm going to have Johnson that could come in here, and I'm going to prove my point. Because if he can take film and edit it and disrespect people, we can take film and edit it. So what's the difference in Mr. Jacobs, you know, getting a contract, and then they take public film and then they edit it? It's no difference. Thank you.
That concludes public expression. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Hinojosa, second by Councilman Higgs. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.